Hey, it's Mrs. J here, blogger-in-chief of Prayer and Pedagogy.com. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you for keeping up with me in my series, Fun Fridays in 5 minutes or less. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a game about squares, and you are either going to absolutely love it or absolutely hate it. Either way, it's definitely going to be interesting. Let's get into it. So, as you might have guessed, the URL for this game is gameaboutsquares.com. And you are going to come to this landing page, and this is it. There's no directions, no information. It's just gameaboutsquares.com, and boom, here you are. So, you get to decide how much information or direction you want to give to your students, or you can just let them figure out for themselves. So, here's how it works. Really simply, you have a game about squares, and if you just kind of curious, you start clicking. As you click, the square will move, and then boom, there you are. This is the game about squares. It is essentially a logic puzzle. If you begin to click through it, you can probably tell that this game is all about squares. And so once you make your way through to level 2, then you can get a little bit more information. Still no directions, none of that. It's just a game about squares, and you have to figure it out. And so a couple of things that you might notice is that the squares have arrows on them. They are color coded, and essentially you are going to click your way through the game about squares, and you'll begin to notice the pattern for how this game works as you do. Of course, as you continue to advance, the levels get to be a little bit more challenging. So you can see how, actually I did that one wrong. I'm talking and trying to play at the same time. But it takes logic, deduction, reasoning, and really it's just try and fail to figure out how the game about squares works. So for those kids of yours who love logic games and puzzles and figuring it out, this is going to be everything. Now you would love that. You may also hate it because it is addictive. Once you get started and you master the puzzles, of course get more and more challenging. I can't even go into all of the different ways and the shapes and the colors and the directions that the game advances to. One of the good benefits is that as you are playing the game, you can play it on any device, mobile or laptop, desktop. It automatically saves as you are making progress, which is really great because once you get, past certain levels, you don't want to lose your progress. And so that's why I'm doing this in incognito mode. If I were to go to my regular browser, it would pick me up where I left off in the game. So something to keep in mind. But once you get started, it's really hard to stop playing the game. So this will be a great logic challenge, puzzle type of activity for your kids, and they can share, what levels they get to and how they figured it out. They can brainstorm. Of course, if they are playing and they get kind of lost or confused or they mess up, you can always undo one move at a time, or you can just reset the whole puzzle. It doesn't, punish you by taking you back or anything of that nature. You just get to start over where you left off. If you click here, it will show you what levels you're on, and then you can see what levels are to come. And so there are, I believe, 35 levels all together. And so, yeah, that is Game About Squares. One thing I did want to point out before I go is that they do have a color blind friendly edition. And so if that is needed, you can click on menu, click on color blind friendly, and then it will change the formatting of the squares so that it works for everybody. I hope you enjoy it. If you love, hate, feel some kind of way about Game About Squares, please let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and definitely subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me at the intersection of prayer and pedagogy. See you next time.